joining me today for Pilates Matwork with the band. For this class, you'll need a band and a pillow. If at any time the band feels like it's hindering you and not helping, please feel free to set it aside. We're going to start by wrapping the band around our rib cage. Taking the band around the back, keeping it as wide as you can. We're going to draw one end over the other. This is going to allow us to feel that three-dimensional breathing through the ribs. Now here I have my legs over this side of my reformer, but if you're at home, you could either be sitting on your couch, you could be on a chair, or you could be sitting on the floor crisscross, okay? So starting, I just want you to feel those shoulders melting down away from those earlobes. Nice and easy. Take a breath wide into those ribs and feel them expand into the band. Exhaling through pursed lips like you're blowing out a candle. Again, inhale, breathing in through the nose. And exhale. As you breathe out, feel those ribs gliding down to the pelvis. All the tensions releasing from the neck and shoulders. Again, inhale, breathing into the band. Feel that air opening into those lower lobes of the lungs. One more nice deep breath in. And exhale. Feel the spine lengthening as you breathe out. From here, we're going to go ahead and open up the hands just a little bit. Take an inhale and exhale. We're going to reach out into a V. You'll feel the ribs drawing down to that pelvis. Inhale as you close. Now if the band feels like it's too tight around the ribs, you can go ahead and open the band up. Exhale. Inhale, bring it back. Shoulders are staying nice and relaxed. Scapula's dripping down the back. If you feel tension in your neck while you're doing this, you can either release a little bit of tension on the band, or you can lower those arms and reach down toward the hips instead of out to the sides. One more time, exhale to reach wide, going into circles, so warming up those shoulders. Again, if you feel it in your neck, make those circles a little bit smaller and take them lower. Inhaling, feeling that breath fill up the band three-dimensionally. And exhale. Reversing those circles for 10. Inhale, as you're sitting here, feel those sit bones drawing down to the mat. Feel the tops of the ears reaching up to the sky. 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Bring it back in. We're going to gather up the band. Ready for external rotation at the shoulder joint. So again, our collarbone is nice and wide. We're thinking about keeping that scapula nice and stable. So try not to let the shoulders move forward or backward. Keep it nice and still. Elbow is just relaxed at the side, so there might be a little bit of space between your elbow and the rib cage. We're going to take an inhale to prepare and exhale as you open the door. And inhale to close. Again, you're only opening as far as you can keep your rib cage straight ahead and the scapula from moving in the back. 3 more times. Exhale as you kegel, navel lifts up to your spine. Again, that kegel is only going up to about 20% where you feel nice and toned and that transverse abdominis is nice and active. Other side, exhale for 5. Exhale 4. Opposite hand is anchoring, it's not moving at all. 3, 2, and last one. Bring it back to the center. We're going to open up that band nice and wide now. We'll reach the band out to the sides, just doing a little reach and in. So now, even though we have the band uncrossed, I want you to think about that three-dimensional connection around the ribs. 2 more times. Last one. Keep those arms long. Take an inhale and exhale. We're going to hug a tree. Inhale up. If you feel like this is not a whole lot of work, you can go ahead and gather up the band a little bit more. Good. 2 more times. Last one. Take that inhale as you reach up to the ceiling, extending the spine. Bring it back for hug the moon. So we inhale up, allow the ribs to open out to the front. We're lifting the sternum up to the sky. Try to stay balanced on the shoulders for 2 more. And last one. Bring it back to the center. Go ahead and bring the band back around to the front. Ready for protraction and retraction. Take that band out to the front. They're about shoulder, hands are about shoulder width apart. And we're not pulling the band this time. We're keeping it nice and relaxed. We're going to inhale, just reach the hands forward, allowing the scapula to glide forward. And exhale, drawing the scapula in and down your back in a V. So we inhale to reach forward and exhale. To see this from the back. Right. We take an inhale to reach and exhale to glide. Here you're keeping the neck nice and long. Watch that the shoulders don't lift as you're doing this. Back around to the front. And now I'm going to go ahead and open the hands a little bit wider, ready for airplane. Taking an inhale, exhale, we're going to press the band wide. So we're working the back of the shoulders. Inhale to bring it to the front. Exhale, 4 more. And exhale, 3. And 2. Again, if you feel this in your neck, make it a little bit lower. Or release tension in your band, or do both. Right, and one more time. Bring it back to the center, and now we're going to anchor the left side, just working the right. And exhale for 4 more. Working those obliques now so that we're not rotating the torso toward the band. Other side. Exhale for 5 and 4. Keep growing out of the pelvis. And 2. Last one. We're going to take that band, place it back around the back, and we're going to get ready to go into our spine twist. So from here, we're going to lengthen those arms nice and long. We're going to watch during our spine twist that our arms don't cross the body at any time. So we're keeping this beautiful frame like a statue. We're going to watch that the pelvis isn't rotating from side to side, but that the pelvis is staying square. And if those knees are in front of you, just like mine are, your knees aren't going to be shifting forward one in front of the other. They're going to be staying nice and straight. So here we're going to take that inhale and exhale. We're going to rotate 3 pulses, and 2 and 3. Inhale to the center. I'm feeling the obliques on my opposite side working. And inhale. So here on this side, I'm feeling these obliques. And 2, 3. Inhale, center. Those opposite obliques are helping to keep that hip back. And again, I'm growing up and out of the pelvis as I'm rotating, lengthening the spine. One more time on each side. 1, 2, 3. Inhale to the center. Go ahead and relax. And bring that band around to the front. From here, we're going to go ahead and go on to our backs. So now I'm going to place the band over top of my toes, okay? So that I can really push into the band when I'm pointing and flexing my foot. So here you can either keep both knees bent. You want your pelvis to be nice and neutral. Try not to let it sink, right? So try not to be in that imprinted position unless you feel tension in your back when you're neutral, right? Then if you need to imprint a little bit, that's okay. Otherwise, go ahead and keep it nice and neutral. So here you can either have both knees bent, or you can have one leg bent and one leg straight. You could have both legs straight if you have that hamstring length and you're not causing tension in that lower back. So we're going to start off with point and flex. Take that inhale and exhale as you point the toes into the band, and inhale to flex. Exhale, point and flex. We've got 7 more, and 6, and 5. Really pushing those toes, pointing all the way. 3, and 2. Last one, keep the toes pointed. Now we're just gonna flex just the toes. The ankle joint is staying pointed. The band, right, is creating a little bit more work in the sole of your foot. And this is the one where it's really important to get that band around those toes, because sometimes it wants to slip out a little bit. And 2, last one. We're gonna circle, ankle circles for 5 outward and 5 inward. Imagine that you're hitting all the numbers on a clock and keeping that thigh bone nice and steady. Try not to let it turn in and turn out as you're drawing your circles. Reversing those circles for 5 and 4. Isolating that ankle joint. And 2. And 1. From here, we're going to take both ends of the band into our opposite hand. Bend the bottom leg. Then from here, we're going to make sure that top knee is bent. We're going to open our legs a little bit wider apart. So now my feet maybe are a little bit wider than my hips. I'm going to take that inhale. On the exhale, I'm going to press the outside of my foot into the band. Exhale, so I'm everting my foot. I'm working the muscles on the outside of my ankle, on the sides of my calves. Really important to keep these nice and strong so that we don't twist our ankles when we're hiking or walking or running. And we'll go 2 more. Bring it back to the center. Let's go ahead and bring that leg back up to the ceiling, and we're going to do our 1 leg circle. So now we're going to bend those elbows. Our bottom leg again is either bent, we could be straight, we could be bent here. The goal is to keep that pelvis from rocking side to side. We're going to take that inhale to sweep the leg across the midline. Exhale as we circle down, around, and back to the center. So we inhale to cross and exhale, stabilizing that opposite hip. Try not to let your pelvis rotate that leg as it opens out to the side. For 3 more, and 2, and 1. Reverse those circles. Keep those collarbones melting open. If you feel like you need a pillow under your head, of course, place a pillow there. 1 more time. Bring it back to the center. Let's go ahead and change legs. So bringing that other foot in, again, make sure that band is over top of those toes, ready for your flex and point. So we're going to inhale to flex the foot, exhale as you press and point those toes. Inhale to bend, exhale, press. Watch the big toe doesn't come in toward your midline, right? So you want to make sure that that big toe is in line with your ankle as you're pointing the toe. And we're going for 7 more, and 6, 5, and 4. Keeping those shoulders nice and open. And 2. Last one, keep it pointed. Now flex and point just those toes. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Really feeling the soles of your feet working. 3, 2, and 1. We're going to draw our circles. Again, our ankle circles, we're keeping the knee facing us. Don't let it turn out and in. We're going to stabilize that. And 2 more. Last one. Reverse those circles. Make these circles as big as you can with those toes. And last one. Bring it back to the center. We're going to bend both knees. Take the band, place it into the opposite hand. Now we're going to open the legs a little bit wider than those hips. Now we've got that good resistance on the outside of that left foot. So we're taking that inhale. We're going to exhale. So we press wide into the band and inhale. So you're pressing the outside of your foot into the band and winging it away from your midline. 3 more times, and 2, and 1. You can take this up to 10 reps, right? Bring it back to the center. We're gonna open it out, ready for our one leg circle. Again, you can have your knees bent for this. We're gonna take that inhale to cross the midline, exhale, circle down, around, and back to the center. Again, we're thinking about keeping those hips nice and stable. So if you had a board lying across your pelvis, that board wouldn't be tipping from one side to the other. We're using those obliques to stabilize. And 2 more. Last one. Reversing for 5. And 4. And 3. Inhale for halfway and exhale to finish. Last one. Bring it back to the center. We're going to take our band now and place it across our thighs. So taking the band, we're going to wrap it around our thighs. Now you could do this sitting if it doesn't feel good to bring both legs up. Bring the legs all the way pulled together. Make the band as tight as you can. Now I'm doing a double loop, but you could just do it single across your legs and then untying a bow tie. That way I can untie the band easily when I'm done. Okay. So here I'm placing those feet back down. Now when I open my knees out, I'm automatically getting work into those abductors at my hips. So the arms are long by your sides. So we're going to take an inhale, allow your knees to come in toward each other, and exhale. Now we're going to press out into the bend as wide as you can. Inhale, allow the knees to close. Exhale to open. Here your pelvis is nice and neutral. Try not to let that pelvis tuck under as you press open into the band, but keep that tailbone heavy. Exhale. We're just going to do one more, and we have little pulses out for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, bring the knees in. Exhale, press out as wide as you can. Inhale, come in 1 inch. Exhale, continue pressing out for 5, 4. Feel that navel connect down to the spine. 2, 1. Inhale, bring it back to the center. Last time, exhale, press as wide as you can. Come back in 1 inch. Press it out for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it back. Ready for shoulder bridge. Taking that inhale, exhale as you kegel. Use those glutes to lift the pelvis. We should be making a long line from the shoulder to the hip to the knee. Inhale to stay, and exhale to lower down. Here my knees are open, they're pressing out into the band, but they're not pushing out further than my hips. So we're keeping those knees in line with the hips. Take that inhale and exhale as you kegel and lift that pelvis. Here, if you'd like to make it harder, you could reach your arms up to the ceiling, or you could take them overhead, making sure that those ribs are staying down and not flaring up, right? And then inhale to lower. We're going to exhale as you kegel and lift. This time we're going to stay up. Take an inhale and exhale. We're going to press out wide into the band for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, bring it back to the center. Exhale, lower the pelvis all the way down. Inhale and exhale as you kegel and lift. Inhale to stay. Exhale, press it out for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Exhale to lower. If we have one more set, this one's a little different. Inhale, exhale as we kegel and lift. This time we're going to lower the pelvis 1 inch. Pick it back up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stay up. Now press out into the band for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to do that one more time. Inhale and exhale as you kegel. Lift the pelvis. Inhale, lower 1 inch. Exhale, pick it back up for 5 and 4 and 3. I'm really feeling my glutes now. 2 and 1. Inhale to stay. Exhale as you open for 5 and 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it back to the center. Inhale, exhale, lower all the way down. You're going to be ready now to do your clamshells. So we're going to lay over onto our side. Here you want to grab your pillow. and place it underneath your head. Or if you'd rather have your head on your arm, that's totally fine. Okay, so here in your clamshell position, we have our hips stacked up one on top of the other. Those knees are stacked up. We're gonna take an inhale, and on the exhale, actually go ahead and look down before we get going. So when you look down, you wanna make sure that your ribs aren't flaring forward, but they're pulled in so that those upper abs are still having to work to maintain that neutral position. We're gonna take that inhale, exhale as we kegel, and we're gonna lift up the knee. We're gonna do this 10 times, so we have 9 more, and 8. If you'd like to make this harder, we can bring this feet up into the air. 7, and 6, 5, and 4, 3, and 2, last one, bring it down, lower all the way. We're gonna stretch those legs nice and long. Now here you can bend the bottom knee for more stability if you'd like to, or for more challenge, you can keep both legs straight. Again, you can have the hand in front. Now the further you have your hand on the floor, the more stability you're gonna have. The closer the hand is to the body, the harder it's gonna be, okay? So we're using those obliques to stabilize us. We're keeping this top hip away from the ribcage, creating a little mouse house underneath. Taking an inhale to point, lift the leg up. Exhale as you flex the foot and lower. So we inhale, point and reach the toes. Exhale, flex the foot. It's like we're painting the wall. Inhale up and exhale. Remembering that when we're lifting the leg, we're going to keep that heel in line with our sit bone. We should not feel this in our hip flexors. We should feel this in our glutes. So if you're not feeling it in the glutes, I want you to bend the bottom knee if it's straight. Reach your top leg back and turn out so that you really are feeling this in those glute muscles. Again, inhale as you point and lift. Exhale as you flex and lower this. And we're going to stay up and circle for 5 and 4. Keep reaching those toes away from the head. 2 and 1. Reverse the circle for 5 and 4, 3 and 2 and 1. Stay there. We're going to bring that bottom leg up to meet the top and both lower together for staggered legs. So we inhale, top leg up, exhale, kegel, bring that bottom leg up to meet it, and they both lower together. We inhale up, exhale, pelvic floor, navel to spine, then lift that bottom leg, lower it down. 2 more. Really reach those toes away from the head as you lower to lengthen those vertebrae. 1 more time, and lower down. Inhale to stay, and exhale, both legs are reaching up together. Inhale to lower. Exhale, and inhale. And 3, 2 more. Last one for 5. Try not to roll back like I just did. Bring it back in. We're gonna bend those knees. Bring yourself up to all 4s. And now we're just gonna stretch those hips, just doing a little rocking backwards and forwards. So doing that as an active stretch. And then we're gonna circle. So we're circling, and 2 and 3. Reverse that circle for 3 and 2. You want to feel like your torso is moving in one piece. Bring it back to the center. We're going to tuck those toes under. Now, if you feel like being on your hands is not comfortable for those wrists, you can do this whole thing, right, on your forearms. Okay, the whole piece. Now we're going to take an inhale. On the exhale, we're going to kegel, lift those knees up. Inhale to stay. Really feel that length from head to tail. Lower all the way down. Take that inhale and exhale as we kegel and lift. Inhale to stay, pressing those elbows down into the mat or the palms, and lower it down. 1 more time. Inhale to exhale, press and lift. Inhale to stay. Exhale to lower all the way down. We're ready to go to the other side. So starting off with your clamshells, pillows underneath your head. Again, the hips are stacked one on top of the other. We're trying not to roll back as we're doing those clamshells. You can either have those feet down or the feet up for more challenge. Again, your hand is in front. It could be on your hip. Maybe it could even be up to the ceiling if you'd like an increased amount of challenge. So we're gonna take that inhale, and on the exhale, we're gonna kegel and lift that knee up into the band. Again, keeping those hips nice and stacked up. I almost have this sensation that I'm reaching that top hip forward as I lift that knee, so it provides a stopper so that my pelvis can't roll back. And 3 more, and 2, and 1. Go ahead and lower the toes, or if you didn't have them lifted, stay there. You're gonna take that inhale, and on the exhale, you're gonna lengthen those legs nice and long. Again, the bottom knee can be bent for more stability. So you're gonna go ahead and take an inhale for top leg abduction, point and lift. Exhale as you flex the foot and lower. Inhale, point and lift. Exhale to flex and lower. And inhale up and down. 2 more for a set of 5. Last one. We still have that little mouse house underneath that waistline. Last one, stay there for circles. Inhale, keep reaching those toes out of those hips, creating length through the whole spine. 2 more circles, and reversing the direction. And 4, and you should be feeling those glutes. 2, and 1. Keep them like a hip height. Bring the bottom leg up to kiss, and they both lower together. Now here, watch that the toes aren't reaching in toward each other, but the ankles are being magnetized. So we inhale up, exhale as we kegel, bring those legs together and lower it down. Inhale up, exhale together and lower. Let's do 2 more. Last one, pelvic floor, ribs are gliding down to the pelvis. Inhale and exhale, both legs together for 5. Exhale for 4 and 3. Working those obliques. 2, and last one. Lower it down, bend those knees, go onto all 4s, ready to rock forward and backward. I'm gonna rock forward and send the weight backwards, stretching out those glutes. And back. Pelvis and spine are nice and neutral. Going into our circles. And 2. And 3. Reversing those circles for 3. I want you to imagine there's a pole that's keeping your head and your tail moving in one piece. Bring it back to the center. We're going to tuck those toes under. Now you can either be on your hands or you could be on your forearms. Taking that inhale and exhale, keeping the spine neutral. We're going to pick up that pelvis. Imagine there's a string attached to your sacrum, lifting you upward and then lowering down. Take that inhale and exhale as you kegel and lift. Inhale to stay as you feel that length from head to tail. Lower all the way down. We're going to do 3 more. Exhale. Lift. Those ribs are lifted. Watch they don't sink. And lower. 2 more. Working those abs. And lower. Last one. Exhale. Inhale to stay. Grow long, long, long. And lower all the way down. You can sit back for a moment, stretching out those wrists. Take a nice breath in. And exhale. 1 more. Inhale. And exhale. From here, we're going to untie ourselves. I'm going to take the band, wrap it around, take it away from the back. And then we're going to go ahead, we're going to move that pillow off to the side. Okay. So now we're going to place our foot into the band. So we want to make sure that a little bit of toes are actually showing this time, so that way they can slide on the floor. We're going to take both ends of the band and place them into one hand, onto the outside hand. So here I'm making an L with my hand, and I'm going to place the band in between my thumb and my first finger. So now I'm going to go back onto my hands and knees, holding onto the band. Again, if the band is creating too much tension for you, go ahead and set it off to the side. Right, so we're gonna take an inhale, flexing those feet. Spine is nice and neutral. Exhale as you straighten that leg. And inhale to bend it. Exhale as you kegel and reach. And inhale to bend. And 3. Getting those glutes nice and active. 1 more. And 5. We're gonna hold it, keep it long. Take an inhale and exhale as you lift up. For 3 and 2. Keep stretching that band long, reach the toes out of the hip. Open up for windshield wipers. We're gonna watch here that we're not side bending toward that leg, but we're really keeping that right hip out of the rib cage. Now here we're gonna do circles. So stretching that band as long as you can. Keep reaching that foot out of the pelvis. Reverse those circles for 3 and 2 and 1. Bend it in. We're gonna switch to the other side. So take that band out. Sometimes getting into the band is the hardest part. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and put the band on the ball of our foot, leaving our toes exposed. Take the band and put it into one hand. Again, you've got that L shape here. Going on to all fours. From here, we're gonna take that inhale, exhale. Those glutes are nice and active as you press it into that band. And inhale to bring it in. Exhale, press. Scapula's nice and stable. Try not to let your chest sink in between those shoulders. I'm really pushing down into those palms. We're gonna do 1 more. Keep that leg nice and straight. Take an inhale and exhale as you lift it up for 3, 2, and 1. Stay there. Open windshield wiper. Open for 3 and 2. We're really working those obliques here to stabilize the pelvis and the rib cage. Circles here for 3 and 2 and 1. Reverse. 3 and 2 and 1. Bring it back to the center. Bend that knee in. We're going to take that band away from that foot. Hopefully you're feeling obliques, shoulder girdle, feeling those glutes and hamstrings. We're going to take the band now and we're going to place it to the front of the body. And we're going to go onto our stomach. Now here, if you have any tension in that lower back when you're on your stomach, get a pillow, place it underneath that belly. We're going to have the legs all the way pulled together, but if that feels bad for your back, open them up hip distance apart. If that still feels like there's tension in that lower back, open the knees out wider than the hips, bend those knees and squeeze those heels together, bringing that pubic bone down into the mat. So that will help to relieve that lower back. So now we're going to go ahead, hold the band. This first one, we're not doing anything with the band, we're just holding it. Okay. So we're going to take an exhale just to prepare. Our glutes are nice and tight here to support that lower back. We're going to take an exhale, blow everything out. Inhale, stabilize the scapula as you lift up, heads balanced on the shoulders. Watch here that we're not hyperextended, right? So you're still pretty much looking down at your mat. We're going to lower it all the way down. So we inhale to lift and exhale to lower. One more time, inhale to lift and exhale to lower. This time we're going to lift up. We're going to press wide into the band for 5. Exhale for 4. Working those triceps. 3 and 2. Muscles around the shoulder girdle, nice and active. And lower all the way down. We inhale it up. Exhale, press it out for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it in, lower it all the way down. We have one more set. Inhale up. Shoulders are out of those earlobes. Exhale, press it out wide for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower all the way down. This one's going to be a little bit different. So we're going to take the band overhead. So we're inhaling up. Exhale, press the band wide. We're going to inhale overhead. Pull the band apart as you open the arms to the sides. Inhale up and exhale, pull it apart. And inhale and exhale. Again, if you feel any tension in that lower back, bend those knees and bring yourself into that frog position. If this doesn't feel good, stay with this exercise instead. Bring it in, lower all the way down. From here, we're gonna sit back into a child's pose. If you have osteoporosis, go ahead and keep those knees nice and open to keep that spine as long as you can. If you don't have osteoporosis, you'd like to round your spine, go ahead and keep those knees in. Take a nice deep breath into the ribs. Exhale. One more inhale and exhale. Last time, nice deep breath in. Feel those ribs opening up to the sky. And exhale. Roll or hinge up to sitting. And then from there, we're going to go into our half roll back or our straight back if you have osteoporosis. So I'll show both of those options right now. So here, we're holding on to one end of the band in each hand. Weights on top of those sit bones. We're going to be flexed over those thighs for for our half roll back. We're going to take that inhale and exhale as you peggle. Curl that tail under. Feel the collarbone nice and wide. And then we inhale back over the legs. So we exhale. Now the band is acting as a support, so it should be a little bit easier to scoop out that belly as opposed to having no band. Exhale. And right. Now if you have osteoporosis, you're going to do this with a straight back. So we're hinging straight back. Allow that pelvis to move with you. So if that pelvis stays still, it ends up being really extension into that upper back and a lot of pressure into that lumbar spine. So we want to ease the pressure in that lower back by taking that pelvis with us. So we're taking that inhale and exhale to hinge back. One more time. Last one, we're going to stay there. Now we could be in the straight back position or maybe we're here in this round position. Okay, so we're taking that inhale and exhale. Now we're pulling that band in, bringing that work into those posterior deltoids. And 4, one more, for 5. Inhale, bring everything back up. I'll show it with your round back now. Take that inhale and exhale, kegel, curl the tail. You're looking straight ahead. Take that inhale and exhale, pull it in for 5, 4. Still keeping those shoulders nice and wide. Last one, inhale. Exhale, round over top of those thighs. Inhale to open. And then we're going to do it one more time. I'll show the straight back one more time. Inhale and exhale, hinge straight back. Watch that you're not looking up to the ceiling. You do have a head nod here, looking straight ahead. But we're going to bring that band in for 5 and 4, 3 and 2. Last one, bring yourself all the way back up to sitting. We're going to go back onto our backs, ready for 100. So we're going to do the 100 in a different position today. So we're going to do the 100 with the band around our shins, okay? So here, you can either have one leg up in your tabletop, or you can have both legs up. Now, if you have one leg up into your tabletop, you're gonna do 50 on one leg, switch, and then do 50 with the other leg. If you have both legs up, we're gonna do the full set of 100 with both legs up. So we're gonna have that band nice and taut. The arms are staying long like stilts, right? You can imagine that there's springs underneath your wrists and you're pushing them down. We're gonna watch that we're not doing this with the wrists, right? They're gonna stay nice and long. The whole thing is staying like a plank in the arms. So we're gonna take a nice inhale to prepare. We're gonna exhale, exhale, prepare. We're gonna inhale, pulse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 10. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 20. We're watching that. We're not pumping those legs. We're keeping them nice and still. We inhale, 2, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 40. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're working the posterior arm. And inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've switched. The last set, if you have one leg down, inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 60. Inhale, 2, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 70. Inhale, 2, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 80. Inhale, 2, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 90. Inhale, 2, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 100. From here, we're gonna take the band around that leg. And we're just gonna go ahead and gently bring it in. Little gentle pulls, little gentle stretch. And 3. You can have your knees bent if that feels good. It's just a nice little stretch. Other side. 1 and 2. Exhale, 3. Feel your sit bone reaching to the opposite wall. Last one. Bring it back to the center. We're gonna bend the knee. From here, we're gonna roll over to the side. So ready for our side plank. So side plank, we're gonna take our band and we are gonna place it around our foot. Okay, and again, if the band doesn't feel good to you, just leave the band out of it. So the first option is having those knees together. Okay, this is level 1. You just take an inhale. On the exhale, you're gonna press and lift the pelvis. Now again, if it feels like, you know what, I'd like to use this top hand, leave the band out of it. Use that top hand for a little bit of support and bring it back in, okay? So here, we're taking that inhale and exhale. Otherwise, I'm holding this band in front of my hip. Exhale to lift, pulling out those undersides of the ribs. Don't let them sink. Really pushing into the elbow, lower it down. Exhale, we're using those obliques. And inhale. If you'd like a little bit more challenge, go ahead and lengthen that top leg nice and long. Take that inhale and exhale. Press and lift the pelvis and lower it down. If you want an even more challenge, you can lift and lower this leg, keeping your hand nice and stable. You can even draw circles, right? So we're doing 5 side planks all together, and you can do either version that feels good to you. Ready to go to the other side. Okay. So on my forearm, you could also do this on your hand. It feels better for my wrist to be on my forearm, so that's where I'm going to do it. So again, we can either do our knees stacked, our hips are stacked, and we're pressing into the pelvis to lift, or into the elbow to lift the pelvis. Lower it down. Exhale, press and lift. Inhale to lower, and exhale. We can straighten out that top leg. If that feels good, you can lift and lower. And we can draw circles, right? So we're doing this up to 5 times. Reverse. Keeping that rib cage nice and lifted. Bring it back to the center. Lower all the way down. From here, we're going to take that band, just lower it all the way down. Get our pillows, place them under our head. Ready for our spinal rotation. Our knees are stacked up, pelvis is stacked one on top of the other. Reaching the arm forward. Take an inhale as you lift the arm up to the ceiling. Exhale as you rotate open. Take a nice deep breath in. And exhale. And inhale and exhale. Feeling all the energy melting out your fingertips. Inhale up. Exhale, navel to spine to close everything back to the center. Inhale up to the ceiling. Exhale as you open. Inhale, feel that breath opening into the rib cage. Exhale as you soften. Again, inhale and exhale. One more breath in. Inhale up and exhale, close. And from there, we're going to go to the other side. Now you can do that 3 to 5 times, depending on how tight your pecs are feeling for the day. Do what feels good to you. Other side. Bringing those hands together. Take that inhale up to the ceiling. Exhale as you rotate open. Nice deep breath in. Feel the weight of the knees. Exhale. Again, inhale up. Exhale to release. One more nice deep breath in. Imagine you've got water trickling off your fingertips. Inhale up to the ceiling. Exhale as you rotate close. And one more time, inhale up. If you'd like to take the leg out in opposition, you can do that. It allows a little bit more rotation. Inhale and exhale. Again, inhale and exhale. Ribs are opening up like the gills of a fish. And inhale, arm reaches up to the ceiling, and exhale, gathering up a big bunch of wildflowers as you close them back to the center. Then from there, we're going to go ahead and come up to a seated position, ready for the mermaid. Now you could, again, either be cross-legged here. You could be doing this on your couch with those legs draped over the front edge or a chair. We're going to take an inhale just to bring the arm up to the ceiling. Exhale as you side bend here. Now watch here as you side bend. Okay, I'm going to show from the side. But we're not flaring those ribs out, but they're in one nice long line as you side bend. We're also watching that the hip isn't lifting up, right? So we're anchoring our opposite hip down. So we inhale up and exhale as you side bend. Should feel a lovely stretch. Inhale up and exhale to lower. Other side. Inhale, the arm floats up. Exhale, the side bend. We have this beautiful space between our earlobe and our bicep. Inhale up and exhale to lower. That one more time. As you float your arm up to the ceiling, if you're looking straight ahead, you should be able to see your fingers wiggle. If you can't do that, they're too far behind you. You want to bring the arm a little bit forward. That way it eases up tension in your neck. Inhale up and exhale to lower. One more time. Inhale, arm floats up. Feel that scapula rotating. Nice little side bend here. Inhale up, exhale to lower. We're going to draw the arm across. Give a nice little pull. Relaxing those shoulders, nice and heavy. You can nod your head if that feels good. If it doesn't, don't do it. Bring it back up. Open the arms. We'll switch sides. Drawing across the body. Little head nod if it feels good. Bring it back to the center. Open and out. We're going to circle the head. Inhale as you go to the back. You want to imagine that you're lifting up and over a little fuzzy peach at the base of your skull. So we're not crunching the neck in the back. And bring it back to the center, reversing the circle. Again, we're lifting up and out of those sit bones. One more time, inhaling for half the circle, exhale to finish. Bring it back to the center. We're going to do a little gentle look up. Look to the center. Look down and center. Look up and center and down and center. Little shoulder circles, right? You should feel really good right now. You can have your arms hanging down by your sides to do it, or they could be on your knees. Reversing those circles if it feels good. Take a moment here. Close your eyes. A nice deep breath in. Really feel those ribs expanding wide into those lower portion, into the lower portion. Exhale as you breathe out. Feel your head reaching away from those sit bones, creating a length in the spine. Again, inhale to breathe in. I want you to imagine that you have sponges in between each vertebra. The sponges are filling up with water, creating space and length in your spine. Exhale. One more nice deep breath in. Exhale, open your eyes, and enjoy the rest of your day.